Hello and welcome to this edition of the Electronic Cafe. In this episode, Mark and I got to chat to the rather fantastic Simon Kent from Magnetic Skies. We're talking about their new album, Empire Falling, a fantastic release. We just wanted you guys to hear about the album and get to know Simon and hear more about the band. So we really hope you enjoy this. It's a great album. Get your hands in it when you can, when it's released. And sit back and enjoy our chat with the fabulous Simon Kent from Magnetic Skies.
I just wanted the ground to open up and swallowing because profusely apologised. Never got it wrong after that.
Well, I hope you do, because then me and Simon can really milk it for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, as you will, mate. Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of the Electronic Cafe. We've got the frontman of one of our favourite bands at Magnetic Skies to talk about their soon-to-be released album, Simon Kent. Simon, welcome to Electronic Cafe, my friend. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
You guys, brilliant, mate. And look, the forthcoming release of Empire Falling, we know a ton of fans will be itching to get their hands in it. When's it coming out? Is it because I think you did a launch gig right in October? So
yeah, we did a launch last weekend down in Portsmouth. The album's officially out Friday 3rd of November.
Brilliant. And I'm guessing from the usual places, BANDCAMP and
yeah. So there's a CD version that's only coming out. That's only available from our BANDCAMP site, and the download stuff's available everywhere. And there's some bonus tracks on the download stuff. So.
Oh, awesome. How long were you working on it for, mate?
Well, the writing a long time, because it kind of encompasses the period when Joe and I formed the band back in 2019.
Yeah.
So we got 2 or 3 early tracks on there because we wanted to kind of, for this album is kind of tells the story of us kind of forming the band, coming together, recruiting the other guys, and kind of learning to write and perform together. So I suppose, yeah, all that period, but then all rushed together to do all the mastering and stuff over the first 6 months of this year. Everything kind of happened really to finalize it all. Yeah.
Watch the world come rushing in like an empire building. Run to the beat of life, lost to the city calling.
Fortunately, you sent us a copy and we've been listening to it all week, and it is great. I mean, it sounds great. I said to you earlier, the keyboard playing I love especially because it's very reminiscent of the style that me and Andy used to do. It used to be sequences and arpeggiated lines going on with big lush synths and hooky choruses. It reminds me of the B-movie stuff, their last 2 albums that they did when they got back together, The Age of Illusion and the other one.
Yeah, it's cool, really cool.
I mean, they're albums that we love, and I love that sound. And I think it's probably, we're seeing you at the Lexington with B-Movie, so it's great. Yeah. How has your sound changed since 2019 to this album here? I mean, it's obviously developed. You've got new members coming in, but fundamentally, has the process changed?
The fundamentals haven't in as much as the songs kind of start with a demo from me that goes to Joe for refinement and stuff in terms of keyboards. So we kind of put all the kind of the flavors together in terms of how we want it to sound on the synths and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where it used to end, really. So we used to program the drums up, and I'd play a little bit of guitar. But now, so when we know what the keyboards are doing, the vocals are doing, that it goes out to Lenin and Carlos to add the drums and guitar on. That's the bit that's really changed. I think the early songs that are on there, like Into Paradise and Magnetic Skies, I think they're kind of a bit more pure pop kind of sound, if you like.
Yeah.
I think the stuff that we wrote later is kind of it's got a darker sort of element to it. I think so. That's kind of changed a little bit.
It was only you and me forever. Open up and show your life. I feel a force and energy inside. Electric current moving with the tide. Sunlight is mine inside.
Just going back, like you said, you formed in 2019. How did it all start? What was the thing that got you guys together, and how did it all happen?
So I mean, I had the solo thing going on, which was kind of a bit more like standard pop rock type.
Right.
It kind of come to a natural conclusion, and when you're just not feeling it anymore. So that was running down, but I had been kind of writing and stuff with Jo. She's only really been a studio writer, ever, never performed before anything. But I had this a festival date left over in the diary for the solo thing. It was a good festival as well, so I didn't really want to cancel it. So I kind of talked her into doing it with the 4 sort of demos of songs, including like Magnetic Skies. To do the show. So I kind of twisted her arm behind her back, and she did it.
Glad she did.
Well, it was really good. It was really good fun, actually. So we booked a second gig, and we wrote a few more songs, which was a really low key thing, just a real local thing. And again, it was really good. And the reception at both of them was really good. And we she surprisingly liked the live thing. I liked the live thing more because I hadn't been enjoying it so much. It's only with this project I've ever really got into the live thing and really enjoyed that, properly, that kind of thing.
You can see it and hear it, obviously. And I'm guessing, new album being at release, because I mean the Stars Align singles collection, which I think I've got a copy. It's in Brighton. No, tell I it was at the garage.
I got a copy in Brighton because you was twisting my arm up my back saying,
yeah, I say you got to buy this. It's brilliant.
You not got this yet. You not got this yet. So,
but it's sold out, right?
Yeah, that was really nice, actually. I mean, we'd been sort of selling it at those live shows. And I had a bunch. We had quite a bunch left, and I just threw it up onto BANDCAMP because we didn't have any shows for a while.
Sure.
And it did sell out in the same day, which was amazing, actually.
What I love about you guys, mate, everyone that we either introduce you to or we go to gigs and happen to see friends there and they see you for the first time are just waxing lyrical. I mean, as you know, we're good friends with the guys at Blitz magazine, and the publisher there, Tom, the owner of it, absolutely loves you guys.
I'm not a believer. The road is dark. Is it in the shadows? You won't slow down. You're way too shallow. Into the dark night.
Quick question on the album. And I guess it's probably not, but is it going to be available for vinyl junkies like me and Mr. Wyborough?
I wish it were, I would love to do it, but the trouble is the logistics of it. It's just like the cost and the run-in times of vinyl.
Yeah.
I think not knowing what's going to happen with the initial release and the demand and things like that. So I think it's one of those things that we would hope to return to down the line and do a vinyl edition at the right time.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, we got us two at the front of the queue, trust me.
You guys you're a great live band as well. I mean, Andy's seen you a couple of times. I've seen you once. we saw you at Concord 2 supporting Heaven 17.
Yeah.
And for me, the first time of seeing you live, it was like, you know, sometimes you see support bands and it's just a period of time you got to get through before you reach the main act. But you guys were good. The songs were hooky and punchy, and you had a great sound and a great presence. And with Carlos and Lenin coming in, was that because the natural progression from you and Joe becoming a more of a live act, bringing in sort of live musicians?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely that, because even when it was the two of us, we both kind of felt that the sound was kind of big. I mean, a lot of electronic acts who I love, but the sound is kind of a limited space sound. But we always got the vibe that it was kind of sonically bigger than we were expecting. So yeah, we naturally thought, well, yeah, let's try and really push that and get some movement up there and some real drums and guitar, a bit of real human element on there with the two of us. It just felt natural to do that, and I think the weird thing is, I think at the moment I feel like you get the best of Magnetic Skies on the stage. Actually, I think there's a good energy about
I
it.
mean, Mark said, like, you see some support bands and he's kind of, but with you guys, as Mark said, it wasn't just the sound and the songs, but it was the audience reaction. Like, everyone was going nuts. Every track you did, I just noticed the crowd was getting louder and louder and getting more into it. It was, it's great to see.
Yeah, it's really blown us away, actually. I mean, that was probably the best show we've ever played, I think, that one.
I could never see through my field of dreams, warnings rushing through. And it suffocates everything now, and it suffocates everything
Obviously, you say you supported Empathy Test, Heaven 17. I think, is it Actors as well, who we love?
Yeah.
You supported Altered Images. Who's coming? Who's next? What's the next? Who's supporting next?
Yeah, so B Movie, that's the next big one. Sunday 19th of November.
Birthday.
That is cool.
It is, yeah. I'll be there for it, mate.
Yeah, Lexington.
He hasn't told his wife yet, though.
No, I haven't. Oh God, we better edit this bit. But no, looking forward to that. Big fans of B Movie and yourself. So that's gonna be a great night, 19th of November. I'm guessing it's sold out probably.
I think it's close to, but there are some tickets left though. We've got discount tickets as well.
I remember you saying.
Yeah, Eventbrite. So or from our Facebook page. Good deal there.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So get your tickets November 19th. Come and celebrate my birthday. No, joking aside, B Movie and Magnetic Skies. What better night could you have?
So who are your influences, Simon? Like, going from what albums did you love and inspired you to be in a band and be who you are?
Yeah, it's a weird. I've always kind of. I know the natural default is kind of like guitar. Everyone wants to play guitar and all that.
Yeah,
Radiohead thing. But I've always been drawn to synths, keyboards. I mean, if I get the Britpop thing, it was the Charlatans did it for me, because the Hammond and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I've always loved that, and because I guess the piano or synth or keyboards, whatever, it's always made sense. I've always been able to do something on it, even though I'm not particularly trained on what I do. It just kind of works for me. So, yeah, but I mean, it goes back so far. So Kraftwerk, Bowie, Low, and Heroes. Not the songs, but the instrumental type stuff with Eno, Roxy Music. So through all eras, that stuff from the 70s. The 80s, it's like Japan, Duran Duran's first album was fantastic. Simple Minds' first few albums, amazing.
Sounds like we've got the same ears, mate.
Yeah, Killing Joke, I love.
Love
as well. Depeche Mode, obviously. Joe's favourite album is Violator. I don't know, I could go on. Newman, all this stuff. I mean, there's some of the strings on the album that are kind of really influenced by that early Gary Newman stuff, you know. And then, you know, there's Slow Dive, Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, all this stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely got the same look.
The whole record collection I got down here, you probably just named. Like,
Yeah, I was just thinking, I can get one of them out, get one.
I mean, especially like Sisters of Mercy. I mean, Floodlands album, I just think is a tremendous album.
Yeah, no.
You know, I saw Sisters of Mercy a few years ago at the Roundhouse, and there was so much dry ice. I never saw any of the band for the whole duration of it.
Maybe that was the idea. I don't know.
It's like a Spinal Tap moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the Roundhouse. I saw Simple Minds there do their 5x5.
Oh,
Did you? I've got a recording of that. I mean, that was phenomenal.
He's a great front man as well.
Jim, yeah, he is. They're a great band, mate. And I saw you collaborated with KVB, one of my favourite bands. How was that?
A friend of mine gave me a tip. I hadn't heard of them, to be honest with you. And yeah, just said give them a listen. And I think this was around. I think this was around the time of Unity coming out. And he knew he's really good friends with Nick. So we were just chatting and said he just said, yeah, I might be able to see if he's up for a remix or, you know, to do something. Yeah, so when I listened to it, I loved it and jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah,
lovely psychedelic electronic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. There's that. Was it Cicardi's or something else? He's got one of them's got a solo project in there, which I love as well.
You take no blame. There's no shame. I'm looking at a paper trail. To you, it's just a game.
Anyone else you fancy collaborating with, buddy?
I don't really I don't really think about that stuff, to be honest with you.
It just happens if it comes up. There's a chance, maybe, I guess.
And it's not something I've really sat down and thought about.
Anyone you met that's been a real pinch yourself moment? Because I mean, you think you haven't been going that long, like 4 years. It's not long, is it? But you've done incredibly well.
It's been amazing. So recently, no, not really, because because I've played with a lot of people. I mean, not a pinch yourself, but Claire Grogan's the nicest person in the business I've ever met. She's just lovely. You know, Glenn and Martin are lovely. You've met them. So people. I mean, the strangest thing because of when I was, getting through all this stuff, I really got into Japan big. So I saw David Sylvian, and when I met him, it was a bit odd because he's a bit of it's kind of god, really, you know. So,
how was he with you? Was he all right?
It was all right. He's just very quiet and reserved, and it was just a strange. It's just one of those things where you think you've got a ton of things to say and you haven't really when it comes to it. Yeah,
I'll get that. And mate, I mean, obviously, I know you're playing B Movie, but is there going to be a Magnetic Skies tour to promote the album?
That's what we really need. We really need an agent. At the moment, we're setting everything up ourselves, and we really do need to make that next step. We need to get someone booking our shows for us. So that's definitely something we want to do, and we're working on.
I mean, you're doing really well. I mean, you're getting some quite high profile shows. I mean, obviously Heaven 17, B Movie, and Free Test, and you're doing really well. But I mean, like you say, you do need someone to do that heavy lifting for you, I think.
No, absolutely right. It's kind of the missing piece of the jigsaw is I think that we need to be playing live a lot more.
You say that's the missing piece of the jigsaw. The difference between you being massive and being fairly big now, but going to that next level, isn't it?
It is spot on. It's spot on, Andy. It's the only thing. I mean, there is no management really needed at the moment. It is just getting us out, playing more of those support shows. getting us in front of more people, because the community's out there.
Yes.
And people really get it when we play live. We just, to up it.
Lost in the sea, flying way too high. Gravity pulls, can you feel it coming on? Falling through the sky. We are fading lights. We are fading lights.
Going back to the album Empire Falling, did you record it remotely? I mean, there's a few tracks that you pulled together and are on the album that were released as EPs or singles beforehand. But generally speaking, are you in a studio together and you record all the parts, or do you do it remotely and you share parts? I mean, what's the process?
The process is that the kind of synths and vocals, and so the core of the song, that's done pretty early on, really, with me and Joe, and so that's kind of collaborative. Although we don't ever sit together and do it really so much, it's like, so it is kind of remote in a sense that, you know, we'll get together, we'll play through the progress of the songs, but then we're not like that jamming sort of thing where we sit together and bash it out. It's always go away, consider it, think about it, and come back with some new ideas. And it's only when we know that those core elements are in place that we would, and we're confident that we got something that we really love, that we will then share it out. Lenin, I can't really remember ever doing anything really to his drums. I mean, there's little bits of moving stuff and adding percussion or bits, but he he gets a basic beat and he just comes up. He's just a fantastic drummer. He just comes up with the parts. And similarly with Carlos, really, he sends in ideas and stems. We do cut those up a bit when we're doing all the mixing stage.
And do you mix it yourself? I mean, when I did an album a few years ago, and the recording's one part, but then the mixing and certainly mastering, the mastering is like a dark art. I mean, it takes it from sounding good to really polished and excellent. But the mixing part, I mean, I know that we listen to the songs so many times that now when I listen to it, it's like, oh, I wish I'd have done that. Do you know what I mean? You kind of become a little bit blind to some of the things in the songs.
I think you are, and I think I don't know if there ever really is a true point of perfection. Really, you've just got to come to a point where you can let it go. But yeah, the mixing's entirely separate. I do, to be honest, I'm probably the producer of the album in the sense that I do all the mixing with Rob Aubrey over at Orbit Studios. So when everything's ready, we take out all the stems and I go to another studio to do all the mixing and mastering. So Rob does all the mastering. I mean, I give he's fantastic. So I give what little input is needed on that, but basically he runs on that. And he's kind of, in a sense, a sort of co-producer. You know, I really respect what he says. There's a couple of tracks on there, like Not a Fire, for example. The main hook on that, Here Comes Love, Not a Fire, that was only originally when I took the stems in, that was kind of just a fade out little line. And he said, well, you know, hold on, this is the chorus. This isn't just a little ad lib at the end. So things like that, where I guess what you were saying, Mark, where you're so into what that song's, where that song's going, if you haven't got kind of a sounding board coming back at you.
Exactly.
Someone you really trust their opinion, which is invaluable, because that's a great, you know, to me, that's one of the big songs on the album. And it only is because Rob sort of, you know, jumped out with that and put it right.
Let a stranger in tonight. The bridge is burning bright. I'm not wasting my time. I can't wait in line. I can't wait in line. Comes love, not a fire.
Certainly the great thing with, I don't know, Logic Pro or Pro Tools or whatever, you can oh, I wonder what the chorus sounds like here. You can literally cut and paste, whereas like back in the day when me and Andy was in proper analog studios, once you was committed to tape, rather than splicing it, which wasn't an option for us, we didn't have that level of expertise or that level of studios, but you had to record it again if you wanted to try it another way round. So having someone's ears with a producer that you really respect, and you say that little fade out is the hook and it should be a chorus, you can literally, well, let's try it out and see what it sounds like, and it's a good soundboard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it was weird when he first put through that chorus song, because it did take me like some time to get used to it. It's like it's too big, hitting it too soon, but now just obviously right, you know. Yeah, and the thing is as well, Mark, you know, what you were just saying, often, I don't know, maybe you probably found the same thing. Sometimes the first time that you put something to tape or to digital or whatever it is, there's an essence to it that when you do it again, it never sounds quite right.
Do you remember Big Blue Tears, Andy, where our guitarist was he was doing a middleweight on the guitar, and there was a break, and his guitar started to feed back like quite bad, and instead of cut, let's do it again, he kind of went with it, and he bent the sound into the song, which sounds like this feedback sweep that went into it, which was totally fluke, totally by accident, but it was a moment that was committed to tape, which sounded like really, really good. I think it's probably my favorite part of the song now.
Yeah, the bit that I'm not singing in.
I love those accidents as well. That happens quite a lot. Something that you weren't intending to do, and you just go, wow, you know, it just completely.
No, totally, mate.
I can't resist. I need the danger release. Push out the violence and watch me fade into bliss.
Matt, on a personal note, I'm going to ask a couple of questions on so Desert Island Disc. If there was one, I know it's a tough question, and the reason I do it, and I say this to every guest we talk to, is because me and Mark have an idea what we think it's going to be, and we've never got it right.
Yeah, it's a really hard one because it depends on my mood. So
I know, I appreciate that, but right now, then you've got a license to change it whenever, mate. But just like right now, album of
So I mean, I've got to say the runner-up would be Sister Feelings Call at Sons and Fascination, and and the main album that I go to is Quiet Life, really.
Right.
Look at that! I've just written down Quiet Life.
Hey, we've got it right for once. I did think Japan or Kraftwerk, to be honest, but
that's what you were saying earlier with Sylvian and stuff. I thought. And keyboards, I thought, I bet it's Quiet Life. And I just wrote Quiet Life. That's the first time
I would have gone Polaroids.
Yeah, no, that thing about Quiet Life is it's still got like an energy, and the vocal delivery has still got an authority to it. And I can still hear Bowie and Roxy music in there, and a bit of the Glenn thing. But at the same time, an amazing atmosphere. And the first time I heard that, and I heard the bass, and
Mick Kahn.
I mean, the production's just beautiful, and the strings on the other side of life and stuff like that. It's just a beautiful album, and I know it's derivative still. I know it's derivative of Bowie and Roxy and all those things, but it's still got its own flavour, its own sound. Yeah,
but I think you're right about that derivative, mate, because when I first heard Polaroids, I was probably 18, 17, and I thought it was Roxy music because his voice has got a very Brian Ferry kind of feel about it. But when you hear Mick Kahn, I mean, the whole band, Danson's drumming, but Kahn's bass, Dean's guitars, Barbieri on keyboards. I mean, Jesus.
They were amazing, really. Amazing musicians.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And is there any bands right now that because obviously, as you know, one of the things we do in the show is recommend me and Mark constantly praying, hey, you should check this out. You should check this out. Obviously, that's why we got you on here, because we want people to check your album out. But anything you can tell our lovely EC people that you're listening to that's making your ears happy right now?
Well, yeah, I guess the thing I'm really into, my favourite band has been for a while, is Brad Majesty at the moment.
Yes.
Absolutely love them. So Modern Mirror and Demonstration, yeah, I mean, I can't stop playing them. I'm going back to them an awful lot at the moment. Boy Harsher, I'm really enjoying.
Love Boy Harsher, yeah.
Nation of Language, I'm really recently just...
Yeah, but naming all our favourite bands. Actually, Boy Harsher, me and Mark were in Berlin with Mark Reeder, and they had all the Boy Harsher albums. So, actually, again, my wife's going to get up. I went ding, 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 just took a whole lot. Just thought I'm having them because they're a great band. Yeah, absolutely love them. Nation of Language. We saw them, what was it, about 3 months ago, Mark? Coco?
Yeah, so they're a great band, yeah.
Yeah, it was some really good stuff there, mate. Mate, listen, we can't wait to see you live on the 19th.
Yeah, really nice to see you again.
Yeah, it really will. And look, congrats on the album. We're loving it. Everyone out there that's watching this, go and buy it when it's out. Thoroughly recommend it. It's a proper EC recommendation from us, and it's a great album. And they've got a great front man, the guy we're talking to right here. So Simon, mate, absolute joy.
Thank you. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks for getting up your Saturday morning. It's a real joy speaking to you. And
yes,
as Andy said, we're looking forward to seeing you at the Lexington on the 19th of November.
Cheers, Simon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, mate.
You too. Thanks.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
There's emptiness inside, the laughter and the smiles that push your love away, but you are all I want to see, and I'm in heaven when you shine on. Did you leave your dreams behind you, lost in time? Did you lose the feeling? Did the world pass you by? Are you living? Are you living? Are you living?
So that's it for this particular episode of the Electronic Cafe. I hope you enjoyed our chat with Simon from Magnetic Sky. Simon, thank you, mate, for coming on. Loving what you guys are doing. Look forward to seeing you live soon, and wishing you massive success for the album. For everyone else out there that loves great synth pop, great electronic music, what are you doing on March the 16th next year? If you're free, come and see Electronic Cafe Live Volume 2 at Club 229. What a lineup we've got. We've got Peter Dugal, we've got Tiny Magnetic Pets, we've got Wolfgang Fleur. And as if that wasn't all enough, we've got a DJ set from the rather incredible Mark Reeder. So I'll ask Mark to put a link down below for the tickets, but make sure you come to that event. We're looking forward to seeing you there. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please get your hands on the Blitz magazine. It is the best magazine out there for people like us. Right, that's it. Look forward to seeing you guys soon on the next edition of the Electronic Cafe. Stay safe and bye-bye for now.
Hello, my friends. This is Wolfgang Fleur. I'm looking forward, along with Peter Dugal, the Tiny Magnetic Pets and Mark Reeder, to seeing you for an amazing night of music at the 229 Club in London on the 16th March next year. Electronic Cafe Volume 2. It is not early enough to inform you about that. See you.